And now to this. Earlier today, the late Lindsey Graham's Russian sanctions bill passing the Senate in an 86-11, I don't know who the 11 would be, vote. Now headed to the House for passage after the lower chamber returns from recess.
I'm glad they got that done. And the vote comes on the heels of an exclusive Wall Street Journal report that's warning that Russia could launch a limited attack on NATO territories as early as this fall, including a possible land invasion. That's according to new U.S. intelligence reports.
And joining us now is House Armed Services Committee member, Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Congressman, when I look at all the things going on with Putin threatening to go into these NATO countries, does he need to do it overwhelmingly, or does he just need to dip his toe in to see what the reaction is?
Marcus, I would be more concerned about Putin's toe at first. I certainly don't trust him, and he is obviously very good at sowing mayhem and mischief and murder. But yeah, we need to be prepared. That's why NATO is the strongest and most successful military and political alliance history's ever known. Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all. So if he were to, say, probe into one of the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, or hit Poland, then he's got all of the 30-plus NATO countries to contend with.
Well, what do you make of the president's kind of back and forth with regards to the Patriot technology? You know, whether or not he's going to give the Ukrainians the technology. Initially, he said that he would. He had that meeting with President Zelensky. Then he kind of changed his tune and backed off. Because of obviously your experience and your service to our country, what do you think that the president's move should be when it comes to that Patriot technology?
Cheryl, that's a great question, because we certainly want our Ukrainian friends to defend their homeland successfully. At the same time, this is highly sensitive technology, can be trusted with some of our NATO allies, and can it be trusted with Ukraine is really the bottom line, because it certainly would help them militarily, but we have to protect, you know the hierarchy. It's America first, then our strong NATO allies, and then our other friends, and Ukraine falls into that latter category. So, and we also need it, we have a hot war with Iran as well. So it's a difficult quandary, and that's a little bit above my pay grade. I'll let the president decide.
Oh, well, your voice matters, though, sir, again, because of your service to our nation. I want to move on to this. Reuters is reporting that a U.S. official expects a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz soon, telling the outlet, quote, "There's progress between Oman and Iran on the strait, and we expect a deal soon. Once the deal's announced to restore commercial shipping without impediments, the United States will lift the blockade of Iranian ports." Your reaction?
My fear is you can't trust what is coming out of Tehran, because you really don't know who's in charge in Tehran. And the IRGC is holding a great sway currently. I mean, they have 180,000 plus men under arms, and they are true believers and they're fanatics. And of course, you just really can't trust them. So yeah, they're probably will be all for opening the straits, but they want international recognition that they control the straits, and that is a non-starter from the beginning. So we'll see what happens. But as President Reagan used to say, trust but verify.
Yeah, well, we talked about this last night. Giving any part of that regime the authentication of controlling what happens in Hormuz is almost like validating their behavior. A baby does something wrong and you tell him he did a good job. We say that we don't want to let that happen, but at the same time, we need this war to be open. We need the strait to be opened. How do you balance that out from your perspective to make sure that you're not validating bad behavior and you're able to actually enforce things, which they typically do not?
Yeah, that's a great question, because Tehran, they don't have really legitimacy, and that's what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And we have to, in my humble opinion, once you bomb a country 16,000 times, you have to break their will. And there are pragmatists in Tehran that will make a deal that would be something that the United States and our allies can live with, and that would benefit Iran. The problem is the IRGC and the hardliners aren't pragmatic at all, and they don't want to make a deal. And they're perfectly fine with seeing their country reduced to, say, the likes of Afghanistan and reduced to ashes, provided they rule over them. And that's really the challenge that we face.
Congressman, next month is going to be the midterm convention. President Trump, Vice President Vance are going to be speaking. This is your state. At the same time, high gasoline prices, that is going to be a problem. Many Americans are saying that they're frustrated with cost of living. How do you message that? I mean, how important is that as we get closer and closer to the midterms? I mean, early voting starts in like 5 weeks.
Cheryl, great point. And the Democrats are very clever. They spent like drunken. Well, that's an insult to drunken sailors. The Democrats, when they were in charge, and they had the House, Senate, and White House. They spent literally trillions of dollars. They made every single American, you, me, Marcus, and everyone, 20% poorer by the money that they injected into the cash they injected into the money supply. And that's unfortunate. And then, of course, you're going to have inflation. We saw with Joe Biden, I believe it was almost 9% at one point, and President Trump got that down. Now they're blaming us for their spending. So we need to remind the American people of that. If the price of gasoline goes down, I think we'll do very well in November. Really, that's going to be the crux of the issue moving forward.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, y'all. God bless. Take care.
All right. Thank you, sir.